Hey everyone, it's Fate back with another one of these Dungeons for Dummies series videos. Today we're going to be covering Carmine Rage Island. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so this is a completely new dungeon compared to the other three, which are just upgrades of dungeons we've already been in. The trash in this dungeon is fairly straightforward, but be warned, just like the rest of these dungeons, stuff hits very, very hard. So these tanks that could have gotten by just not really running, a lot of HP or endurance may find it a little tough unless they're really above that combat power threshold of 2500. Same goes for your healer. I know some healers out there did go hybrid DPS healing. They may or may not be able to still do that depending on their current skill level. The only trash mobs I would be worried about are the goblins with a prefix name like a greedy or grumpy, stuff like that. They do explode on death, and if you AoE them down and they all die at the same time, you're going to be in for a world of hurt. Coming into the first mini boss's room, once you hit this idol in the center, these statues on the outside will have an icon and a color above them. The point of this is to really match up the one above your character's head with the one on the correct statue or rock. This will give you a shield, preventing you from taking damage from the big AoE when the boss actually spawns. Now, unfortunately, you won't be able to, as far as I can do it, grab all of the statues within one camera angle. So what I like to do is stand a little further back and try to get like 3 or 4 of these rocks in my view, and then just try and memorize the colors from left to right, and then just keep repeating that. That way, once they disappear, you can actually click on them. You know that maybe if you get lucky, one of those 4 was your color. Now, the fortunate thing is, as far as I can tell, the AoE doesn't straight up kill you. So if you can see that your party is going to mess up and you are the healer, what you can do is wait for the AoE to go out and then instantly just cast your AoE heal and your AoE shield, and that way that they won't die to any kind of like follow-up damage like a boss auto attack or something else. The boss will do this colored mechanic twice, once when he spawns, once when he's 50% HP. Now he may do it again when he gets to 25 or lower, depending on how long it takes you guys to kill him. With the group that I was running with this time, it only happened twice, the spawn and then again at 50%. The only other things to look out for are these red circles on the ground. He does throw out bombs. They do a significant amount of damage and do leave a burn on you that does stack, so just be mindful of that. Moving on, we just got a few more trash packs and some roadblocks, and it's really unfortunate you can't dot these up, but it is what it is. You'll eventually come to this bridge with these explosives. Now, what you can do is you can actually just hit these explosives to push them into these monsters and it will kill them. Unfortunately, if you have somebody like our tank here who went ahead, he will prevent those monsters from actually walking forward into those bombs. So I would just recommend having everybody just stay at the front of the bridge, hit the bombs, pushing them back into the monsters, and it just instantly kills them. You don't got to worry about that part. Walking a little forward, you're going to come to this platform and you're going to be able to jump off and glide onto the second boss's arena. Now, unfortunately here, this arena is fairly small, so there could be some deaths, but fortunately there is no wall, so if you do die, you can just fly back onto the arena. The biggest mechanic with this boss is going to be his bombs. He will throw down a bomb into the little circular platform you are on, and you can hit that bomb to push it in a direction. In addition to that, you'll see that the arena has these cracked edges where the ring doesn't fully connect. You can actually push the bomb towards those cracked segments and the bomb will fall off the arena. You can also push them off of the arena using the non-cracked segments, but it will cause it to take longer because it is actually further off of the arena. The second thing he does is he will place circular AoEs around everybody, and you just kind of have to spread out and not stack that or you will die. Now, as mentioned with those bombs he places, he will do them multiple times, and if you aren't coordinated, it will eventually kill you guys stacked with those circle AoEs. The best method I've done for doing this is everybody to stand on one side of the arena with a tank tanking the boss on the other side. That way, when the bomb spawns, the tank can actually pull it with this chain if they're SNS, and everybody can hit it towards that same side. If everybody focuses on hitting these bombs and pushes it to one side of the arena, it is extremely helpful. It'll create more space for you to be able to spread out during that circular AoE. When the boss does reach 50% HP and 25% HP, he will put a giant bomb in the middle of the arena, and then he'll create this little hook spot that you can grapple to the second platform, and then again he'll do it at 25% HP, allowing you to grapple to the third platform, and that's where you'll finish the boss off at. Once you've killed that boss, you can fly over to this side of the castle or these ruins. You can ignore all the trash through here. None of this will actually pull. You can just walk around it, and you just keep following this path, and you'll eventually end up at the very final boss of the dungeon. Let's get the whale out of the way. There is a new dodge mechanic with patch 1.8.0, which is the Fury block. Before 1.8.0, the only block mechanic we had was the circular purple ring, where you press Q or whatever it's bound to, and you will block the incoming attack. After the patch, we have a new one. It's in the shape of a diamond or a square, whichever you want to refer it to. The way to block this is by holding a direction and then pressing Q, so you roll. You can't block the Fury attack while standing still. You actually have to roll to block it. This will be a consistent thing going forward with dungeons and any other mechanics that the game throws at us in the future. So remember, circle block, stand still, diamond or square block, roll. Right, his first big mechanic is he's going to mark the furthest player away with an orb above their head, indicating they're going to be the first person to be targeted by the AoE. 4 players during this phase will be chained to a totem that will keep trying to pull them back towards it. Here is a screenshot of how that totem placement works. I'm also going to show how it looks like without those totems there. The totems will always spawn inside of these circular platforms that are in these pizza-shaped segments. When the boss does his conal cleave to the selected totem, he will never cleave multiple segments at the same time. I will show a picture on screen of the range of that cleave and what the safe spots are. If he's cleaving the left side like he is on the screen here, then that entire area will be bad, and the indicators with the stars will be where you can stand to avoid being hit by that. And then 2 players will be free to run around. Make sure that you're not standing in the center fire. That will kill you. To resolve this, step 1, figure out who's going to get it first by using the furthest person away to bait the orange circle above their head. In this instance, it's me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a segment either to my left or right, go stand in it. Everybody else should also be doing the exact same thing, either standing directly on top of me, which is preferred, that way I can heal them. Wait for him to cleave where I was, and then go and stand on that platform like I am. And then just wait for the entire mechanic to resolve. During this phase, there's other mechanics like a dot and a flaming axe. Honestly, you can ignore that. I know there are guides out there showing you how to bait things on who and what. Let's be honest, in a pickup group with randoms, you're never going to be able to do that. So if you just follow these steps, bait the very first AoE by being the furthest player away, and then just follow the steps I've outlined on how to dodge the AoE and stack up, you can ignore all the other mechanics of this phase. Following that mechanic, he's going to do his Fury Rush attack at the tank or whoever has the highest aggro, so make sure you got your dodge block ready. After that, he'll go into a very predictable pattern unless he bugs out. He will do the standard regular standstill Q block into this triple lined cleave. Afterwards, he will do another one of those standstill Q blocks into another triple line cleave. At this point, what you can do is you can bait the very first charge to the furthest player away, like I am here, and then he will charge to the second furthest player away, and then he will charge back to the tank. That order will always be the same. He will then follow up with his tornado spin. Just make sure that you're inside the tornado where it's not red, and you'll avoid most of the damage. Depending on your group's DPS, he may repeat that pattern again, or he will go straight into the totem mechanic. And that is the entire fight. He will just do both of these things back to back. He'll start with the totems, go into the charges, tornado, totems, charges, tornado, repeat until either he dies or you die. Keep in mind, if you have any sort of self-sustain, there is a good chance you can actually just solo this fight or duo this fight if you have a healer alive and you're a DPS. It's really not that difficult. What I find most people die on is the charges. They don't see them coming, or somebody's trying to bait them and they're standing in between that player and where the boss is, and they'll get either one shot because they have too low HP, or they'll get hit once and then once again on the way back because they're stunned and can't move out in time. Well, let me know what you guys thought about the fight. Go ahead and leave in the comments below. Also, the one thing I would request is if any of you have any feedback for me on any of my editing. I am still fairly new at it, so maybe some of the editing is a bit too much, not enough, the placement's incorrect, stuff like that. So I'd appreciate any feedback you may have on that front. As always, if you did like the video, go ahead and leave it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. As always, this was Fate. Have a great day.